All right, we are back, and it is time to actually make our individual engines. So we're gonna have five. They are holy relics. They are discarded by the gods and yearn for heaven. Their names are referential, and they are restored to their former glory by our transcendence. Does anyone have any that jump out at them?
Yes.
So yeah, mine is named the Withering of Surgut.
Cool.
That's cool.
What is
I
this
think I picked
form?
the name correctly from the list here. Surgut? Yeah, Surgut. Yeah, the Withering
from
of
the name
Surgut.
list.
I just chose a name.
Oh yeah, that's a really good idea.
Most of them are straight up like names of demons and shit. So
Yes, awesome,
they're apropos.
fantastic.
I need to make smaller text. The Withering of Surgut, its virtue is
So virtues and yeah, okay. There's the virtues and impulses.
yeah, I moved them in this version,
Yeah.
but they are the virtues available to me in my selection are elegant, fierce, clever, powerful, wise, brave, serene, right. And I think the Withering of Surgut is serene
Cool.
in a corpse-like way. It's like in a state of repose because the withering thereof, it's like an ancient, wizened, or like dead thing. And so of course, its impulse will be that it's hungry.
That's very cool. What is it? I'm interested to know. Like, what is? Do we know what it? What is its form?
It's like a
Or do you want to show that on camera?
it's like a giant, an enormous like floating sarcophagus that just like it just like hovers around implacably, and then like I don't know when it does stuff we'll see, but like
Yeah.
it has some way of doing stuff, but it's
Yeah.
just this like floating sarcophagus.
That's
real cool.
That's awesome.
pretty rad.
I love it.
Yeah, and then somehow it grows an engine. Question
No,
mark.
it needs to be morbid. It needs to be morbid.
Wait, like it opens and a skeleton, like the skeleton of an engine comes out and fucking grows flesh or some morbid bullshit.
No,
I
the
don't
skeleton
know.
puts
Or
on
it
a top
shoots
hat,
lasers,
grabs a
I don't
cane,
know.
does a dance.
Maybe the sarcophagus becomes the shield of the engine.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well,
We'll see when it. When
Yeah,
we play.
we'll find
we
out.
can play to find out what happens.
Yeah.
Did you want to? Did you want to do? Did you say you had one, Luke?
I do. I didn't have a name, but now I do have a name. So mine is Cunning Harmony Overcomes Adversity. It is clever. Its shape is it's either a bow or a staff, and I haven't decided which yet. So I'm open to feedback on that point, but I think they're both kind of cool options. And its impulse. I'm still working on that. I've got the beginnings of an engine. I'm still.
Yeah.
Watch the space.
Yeah, Ash, you get to make it too.
I get to. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I'm looking up some stuff because I have an idea. I have two ideas, and I'm not sure which one I want to go with.
Why did I pick such a long name?
Because you're a fool and
Yep.
adult.
It's who I am.
I just realized the bit that says strength should just say it black text instead of text over. Nope.
Wait, it's a playtest. We're learning things.
What should it say? I missed that.
Oh yeah, it should say it in black text. Strength should be in black text.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had this discussion about institutions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I figured it out. The impulse of Cunning Harmony Overcomes Adversity is sentimental because it is an older engine. And so like
Cool.
it remembers a time that was, and it is sent like it's nostalgic.
Excellent. That's cool.
So did we decide that the in terms of the names, do they have it's so the names are referential? Do they mostly actually like have the name of a god in them, or
They didn't have to.
can
It
okay?
could be a story or a fable or something.
Mm.
I love the idea of like there could be multiple engines that were like various examples of the same god too.
Yeah.
Like there's the withering of Surgat, but there could be like the flowering youth of Surgat or something else
Yeah,
as well.
cool.
Right?
Awesome.
Yeah. Just trying to work out where the list of there they go, impulses and virtues. So we've got serene and morbid and clever and what was the other one?
Sentimental.
Sentimental. Okay. Well, I have a bit of an idea for one. I don't know where we're up to. Melody, do you?
I'm still thinking, so feel free to go for it.
Okay. I think I'm totally gonna do the sword because we said sword,
Cool.
and now I want there to be a giant fancy sword. And the sword is called what was the name I wanted to use? Ophiel. It's called Ophiel's Sacred Ambition.
Oh, that's good.
And its virtue is powerful or bright. Ooh, powerful or bright?
I would like
Or
bright,
fierce.
please.
You would like bright? You want to use bright for your one?
I would like to use
Okay. Then I won't go fierce because I feel like that is to me too close to bright. I'm gonna go.
bright. Oh,
with
I could be wise also. That's the other one I could be. So
Is the sword elegant?
Yeah, I kind of think there's.
maybe.
I feel like there's an interesting case to be made. Like we've kind of talked
Elegant.
around the idea that like the sun is like the proto deity and doesn't have a name, and maybe doesn't even have an engine. And I kind of feel like not picking bright could be an interesting aesthetic decision to reflect that. Like none of them are bright because the proto engine, right? The flagship is bright. That's its virtue.
I think I'm gonna go. I like elegant actually as a suggestion because I feel like 'cause I wanted to choose something that like fits with the name, with the ambition in the name. But I feel like actually that's an impulse, not a virtue. I think it is elegant. Yeah.
And Luke, I believe you were referring to the unconquered sun that triumphs over heaven.
Yes. Can we list its virtues and impulses underneath it in the flagship section?
I mean, it only gets impulses, and they all come about as dark bargains. Just saying.
Cool.
I know. I feel like it has a virtue, and its virtue is that it's bright. It's carrying a fucking like solar energy source on it.
I mean, no one's about to pilot the damn thing. So.
No
No,
one's about
exactly.
pilot. I just think from an aesthetic standpoint of us describing it and having to live in it, it'd be good to know.
Where are the impulses and everything
in the
listed?
middle column. In the
They're in
Ah,
with the true
okay.
abilities now. Yeah.
Right, cool.
Impulse. I feel like Imperious is like egotistical kind of, isn't it? Like
It's like commanding and like, you know,
Certain in its authority.
in charge.
yeah, I feel like that might be the one here. Like I think this sword thinks it's
The sword is a
the
boss.
shit. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I reckon that's it. Sword is kind of an asshole as well, like, and I love that because it goes in with like the talking sword trope, wherein it is a talking sword that is just like, just really irritating.
Always thinks it knows better than you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I kind of hate this sword, but I also love it.
Well, and that it's both elegant and imperious, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that it's like very refined.
And it knows.
And it's that word that you guys can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Also that.
Cool.
Just a little. Just a little.
I'm feeling. I had an idea, but I think I've gone from that to my second idea, which is a bit more. It is a bit more left of field, but I'm thinking mine is called the Gift of Yolnir, and I'm trying to decide if it is a lump of coal or a set of boots. Yeah. Oh no, we lost Mel.
Oh no. Oh no.
She had a good freeze frame going for a minute there. I was like,
Oh, I didn't see
look.
it.
We don't. Okay, all right. Well, our names are wrong for the moment, but.
Okay.
I am having a crisis. Nothing.
Yeah, you're currently Jimmy Mito Bright Eyes Armstrong.
Wow.
That's very confusing.
But yeah, I'm gonna go gift of.
Look, Mito got turned into a half bicycle cyborg. It's fine. It totally makes sense.
Story checks out.
I'm gonna chuck gift of Yolnir in there. And yeah, like I feel like a lump of coal makes the obvious sense, but I feel like boots might be cooler. I'm not sure, or a single boot.
Boots are fun. I like boots.
Yeah, go with some cool boots.
Cool.
I'm getting a very like winged boot vibe, or like like there's all these great mythological footwears that we could draw.
Yeah.
Mythological
A
footwear.
line of mythological footwear.
So it's virtue.
That's the merchandise for the show.
The Gift of Yolnir is just a pair of Air Jordan, but like mint, like the Goodyear
exactly.
with the blue and orange colorway.
It's the ones from that specific. What's the movie where he gets the shoes that make him good at basketball, like Michael Jordan?
Oh,
The old pair of Jordans. They're like struck by lightning.
Yeah,
Someone
I know
in
the
chat.
one.
What's the name of this film? I know it exists.
What it's
I
called.
watched it in school.
What is the name of this literature of the film? Yeah,
I just keep thinking of the one where there's a dog, but that's different.
that's Air Bud, and
That's it.
There's nothing in the rules that says a dog can't play basketball.
Exactly.
So yeah, the Gift of Yolnir is a pair of big, heavy, worn-out boots that are wise and tormented.
Oh, I love it.
Tormented boots. That's
Also, Liam in chat has made a really interesting point, which is expanding on the idea that like when we transcend, like it restores the engines to their former glory. The idea that depending on who's transcending them, it highlights like a different facet of the legend of that deity, which I think is really
yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah,
And that we might see different sides of them. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But
like
yeah,
Yeah, so like the outsider shows us the edgelord side of the dead god in the sarcophagus, whereas
Exactly.
another character might show us the peaceful side.
oh, it's not dead. It's just withered. It's just sleeping.
Oh, okay.
It's dead is very extreme. Also, like, I love that everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you like step in the you like do the thing with the sarcophagus, and then it turns into a robot." I'm thinking like, it just literally becomes a gigantic sarcophagus that floats around,
That was my
like
thought.
destroying things.
yeah.
Yes, just shooting.
I mean,
shooting
That was
haven't-
my vision of it.
We
But-
haven't had a conversation yet about whether engines are fundamentally humanoid, and so like
exactly.
there's a lot of possibilities.
It could be a very H.R. Geiger sarcophagus, It could get into those kinds of vibes, like the
I mean,
navigator or
wasn't Ash
whatever.
saying something about body horror earlier?
Oh yeah,
She
no,
said-
I'll flag if I need to. That's fine.
I didn't go into any details. Also, I've heard you describe a lot of body horror, which
Yeah,
makes that
see, that's the
statement
weird
very
thing.
Oh
funny
yeah,
to me.
yeah,
She can deal out the body horror. That's fine.
yeah. I can give out
Yeah.
much more than I can take. Yep.
As Emily speaking from experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
it's different when you're at-
horror describes like like contorted, barely alive corpse inside the engine of a ship.
A
And,
Megara fault style.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
That was, can I just say, that was beautiful, Ash. As soon as you
It
said the
was.
words like Amagara fault, I was like, this is gonna be some good shit
Yeah,
about it.
that was
It
really.
was a good time.
Okay, is there any other bookkeeping or other stuff that we can do while we wait for our
Yeah, did she send you a message or anything?
I haven't got a message from her yet.
Maybe her internet.
Yeah,
is
she sent
slow.
one.
She
She
said,
sent one to the
she said
group Twitter.
her computer
Yeah,
is.
she's restarting her laptop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Cool. Well, then that should
crashed.
fix
Uh,
Do we want to?
I'm gonna cross out names that we've used.
Do we want to
Take a quick
maybe
break.
look at personal
Let's talk
playbooks
about-
then in the
Yeah,
meantime?
character playbooks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. I'll hand
I mean,
you out
look.
some characters.
Unless someone objects, I would like to be the time traveler. I have a premise.
Cool.
That's
This one's
it.
you,
That's
Luke.
yeah.
I'm making it so that everyone can see each other's, but only
Yeah. Yeah.
edit their own. There you go, Andrew.
I'm Moseki Aobu.
Excellent.
Actually, hang on a
Love
minute. No,
the random
that
name.
last name is presumably Welsh, so the pronunciation would be different.
Right. Yes.
Aobu.
And one.
How do we
for-
know whose is whose?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I can see all of them.
That's a good question. Yours is Kiki Weirdo, Emily.
Oh, cool.
You should only be able to edit one.
Excellent. Okay.
I love this.
Um,
Honestly, I think Mel should just keep Odrito Skook as a name. That's dope as hell.
Yeah.
Okay,
Andrew, we
renaming-
can't hear
okay.
you, unfortunately.
I muted myself. Luke, not from the list. Do not blaspheme like that. Assign her names that are not from. Also, Ash, I see that you actually made my character sheet, my scare quotes character sheet, a thing. So I appreciate that.
Oh, actually, Andrew, this I remember I meant to ask this
Mm-hmm.
in the feedback, and I don't remember if I did. For PCs, do we stick to the list, or is it just like in Apocalypse World, like the NPC pool is stable between?
I mean, it's a list of
Iterations.
names that are available and are there to provide a certain
Inspiration.
vibe. And if you want to pick from them, great. No, that's fine.
I mean, I feel like I'll probably pick one from there because we've kind of got this fictional world building idea that those are like deity names, and if we're created, to be about all that stuff, then
Our names
just a
might
heads
be
up
derived.
to
Yeah.
the three of you. If you in your URL bar, there's probably like a little security icon, like a lock with an exclamation mark or something. If you click on that,
Yeah.
Yep. Load the unsafe scripts.
load unsafe scripts. Disable protection, load unsafe scripts, whatever it is.
Cool.
So that
Hello.
Ash can hack all of our computers.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Did I miss? What did I miss?
We
Oh,
didn't miss.
shit.
You didn't miss anything. Really.
Oh,
No,
this
we
character
made
sheet
them.
looks good. This is a good character sheet.
Yeah,
Actually,
Good job,
lots of
Andrew
clever
and
stuff.
Ash.
I'm pretty happy with
Bill
it.
did well. That's
Getting
cool.
it to, getting it to work in Roll20 was a fun challenge yesterday. I was like, I want it to be nice. So that's cool.
That's real cool. I love it.
Mel, if you are in Roll20, there should be a little padlock icon or a security icon or something. You want to either disable protection or load unsafe scripts or whatever it is.
Okay.
Let Ash
Let's
hack.
see. I apparently do not have. Oh no, I do have it open. So there's a little icon. Whereabouts is the icon? Sorry.
Like in the URL bar,
Right of the HTML, probably.
it's on the left in Firefox.
Yeah. Okay. All good. Yeah, it's just doing its thing now.
Yep, cool. That just means that you can see the thing properly.
Okay. Awesome.
Looks good.
Cool.
Mel still has
Yeah.
her own engine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mel needs
so
an
I've got-
engine. So
I've got
if
an
you-
idea.
if you- did you hear
Yep.
about the gift of Yolnir?
No, I didn't hear that one.
So the gift of Yolnir is wise and tormented. It is a pair of big, heavy, old, worn-out boots.
That's cool. Awesome.
love it.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I love the boots. So my idea is I had quite a long name, so let's bring up the names thing. It's taking a little while to load because my computer is weird apparently. I might just have to reload Roll20 because it's gone all funny. But in the meantime, yes, my one was going to be the reminder of hope given by Cassiel unto a bitter world.
So good. I love it. So.
I also love that because classically Cassiel is the archangel of tears and sorrow and dead kings, and so the irony is so good.
No one said we know what's what though.
I love it.
And the relic is a standard, like a banner.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Oh, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah. In terms of the impulses, virtue and impulse. So, virtue, I think. What ones we already got with?
Serene,
Clever, wise, and elegant.
Okay, cool.
brave.
I'm gonna go bright then. Like, we don't have that, do we?
I think we were specifically like some of us were saying that we didn't want to go bright because that's what the sun the main like proto ship is.
Yes, that's a good point. What was the one that you suggested, Luke? Brave is great. Yeah,
it's
go
the
Brave.
gift of hope. It's brave.
Yeah, totally.
And everyone keeps talking mad shit about it. It's the unconquered sun that triumphs over heaven, guys. Okay, we're gonna get through this. We're all gonna remember the name.
We're gonna be fine.
We're gonna learn all of these
that triumphs over heaven.
Do some chanting and
Andrew's character directs the church choir in their spare time.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm the insubordinate rebel that directs the choir.
I've known a lot of those, to be entirely honest. Like,
they sing a lot of inappropriate songs.
Yeah, we get into the weird psalms.
The Apocrypha.
Okay,
so for impulses, I am going to go weary.
Yeah, cool.
Because it's like a pretty big thing to bear.
Yeah.
Great.
That's good.
That's really sad.
Do you want to fill that in the hanger for us, Mel?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you want to fill that in the hanger on the right-hand side of the sheet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll see if Roll20 is working in. It is, hooray!
Yay!
Yeah.
And now we get to answer more questions.
Sithmaster in the chat has just pointed out that the names are kind of like mantras, and like I totally dig the idea that the process of activating the engine involves like invoking it by its true name.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
You're still muted.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, sometimes I use the little mute button on my headphones, and then sometimes that confuses Zoom. Yeah, and like also maybe there's a bit of a like, you have to recite some of the associated history or something.
Yeah, you have to tell the story.
Yep.
Yeah, and as you tell it, the engine manifests. That's real cool. That's real cool. Look, I'm not saying I'm gonna write fan fiction that's like just the stories, so I can recite them as part of the game, but like I might. Okay.
I love the idea too of like, with ones that have like the withering of Sir God.
Mel, you're so type. You're so much typing.
It's really
sorry.
It's like you recite the story and you see the whole like life cycle of this thing, and then it's like passing into death, and then it like arises.
Yes.
That's
And it's
rad.
super metal.
I feel like we've got a really good handle on like what like transcendence and engines and all that. I feel like we've got a really good aesthetic together.
Yeah.
So it's time to move on.
Let's move on. So our transgressions. How do we transgress against that which is sacred? Humanity gave it up, so why is it alive in us? So we transgress on multiple fronts.
I mean, in a lot of ways, this is kind of like me revisiting a thing from the one shot, but I also feel like this is just implicitly a core theme of this series playbook. Like, to the last bastion at large, these engines are like edifices of our gods and our past and our culture, and to us they're people. So we transgress in that way. Like we understand them as like persons that one should have relationships with, not deific sacred objects that must be placed on a pedestal and like elevated.
We don't. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and we're kind of liminal, like in this liminal kind of like place by default because we're like the speakers for them as well, which like inherently like compromises us to a certain extent.
And we were made to guide everyone away from everything they already knew and to abandon tradition, city that we had made, right? To embark to this new place. We were the ushers from one era into the next, and it all kind of went off the rails.
We were almost in, like, if we're conceptually generous with terms, like we were almost designed to be profane. And to transgress, because our job was to forge new traditions.
And to step beyond the threshold of what had been permitted the realm of mortal previous. Yeah, we are we are inherently messed up. We are like a horrible act of hubris that has been created.
Yeah, which is why we're kept in these like sacred gilded cages, because they keep us from polluting the spiritual life of the city with like our like profane.
Is that
essence.
the reason that
miasma?
Like, do we have community amongst ourselves? That
we're isolated from everyone else.
Yeah.
Because we're too.
I feel like we have to.
Yeah. And also. I feel like my character necessarily represents nature because they come from before nature was haunted and before that was like cut off from us.
Yeah. I also feel like on the community thing, I wonder if there's almost even something in how we were made where there was like a necessity. If we were going to, be the kind of pilots of this big flagship and lead everyone, we needed to be able to be like connected to each other in some fundamental way such that we could do that. But like, we're not using that for what it was intended for. We use it like to reinforce a community or like kind of almost family thing.
So
within,
are you saying, Emily,
ourselves.
that there's some real like Tamora Pierce's Circle of Magic vibes going on, and we all have like souls that are tied together and can talk to each other in our brains, and are a family of choice? Because I'm into that.
Maybe,
I don't know that we have like we can talk to each other in our brains, but definitely we're fated to be together as family and community because of our nature.
And as PCs, we have like an empathy stat, right? Like we have ability to actually feel each other that way.
Exactly.
And also, like, we have community with the engines, which I think is also really important.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
like,
so
we represent that which humanity has been forced to give up, and that they expect the engines not to need.
Yeah.
Because they're like lonely gods, but like they're made to not be close to humanity. But we're like, no, fuck that.
And the way that nature lives on inside our characters, that they're all explorers.
Yeah.
Right? Like they are inherently curious. We're made to go check out this other place, but also I'm sure can't help but want to check out the world that the rest of humanity has made.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to like what like landscape and nature we decide that heaven has the first time we go through. Like that's gonna be dope as hell.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yep.
So, our last hope. What hope do we have against the darkness? Who believes we have a chance, and who doesn't?
Oh, God.
We were made to speak with the gods. Like, I think it is possible that we can, like, convince them to forgive us and let us into heaven as a society.
Redemption arc!
Like, whether we end up believing that society deserves that is another whole question entirely. But I think, like...
And so here's the really weird thing about that way of looking at this, right? Because what we are framing the darkness as is essentially like the portal to the bad place is the portal to like heaven and the world beyond, where we're trying to get. So our chance that we have against the darkness is to like integrate with it. To redeem, quote unquote, redeem the darkness, right? Like, or to like
embrace, to no longer be separate,
to come around to it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because
to be reconciled with the darkness.
Yeah, because I kind of love this thing of like, there are so many levels of we fucked up in this, right? One of which being this idea that we opened a portal into, heaven, our idea of heaven, discovered it was horrific, and now kind of have to come to accept that that's just what heaven is like.
For
right?
us,
Like,
because of who
for
we
us,
are.
like,
Yeah.
Exactly. This is what we signed up for.
Yeah.
And maybe we just have to
This
get on
is the
board with that.
paradise of a bunch of warmongering, like genocidal, like
Yeah,
authority.
exactly.
Who believes that we have a chance? Who are the people that like actually believe in that?
I would say it's the civilians.
Same.
It's the like, because we're cultural icons. Like,
Yeah, right.
I would say, the people,
Then who doesn't?
So,
The
someone,
generals.
the authorities.
The authorities just want to like.
I think the generals. Like, I think there is. It feels to me like there's a definite thematic split between like the military authorities who prosecuted the actual like running of this war, and the religious authorities who instigated it and who control us. And I feel like the military authorities are like don't believe. They're like, no, fuck that. Like, the answer is this is another war. Like, we're not going to integrate with the darkness. We're going to reconcile with the darkness. We're not like we're going to fucking conquer heaven. That is the plan. We're going to march in there and conquer them like we conquered everyone else in this desolate wasteland we fucked up.
Can we take it one step further and say that like they were against this plan initially as well? They were like, cool, we
Yeah.
won. This is like what we have
This
won.
is fine.
Our bloodshed is the thing that we should have. This is paradise, right? Like Earth is a paradise.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
we
fucked up. I
achieved
like
our
it.
goals.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then they like gesture out to the desolate, haunted wasteland. Like, yes, we did it. We won. Right? Because for them, that temporal victory
Yeah.
is what they fought for. The religious
Yeah.
authority.
Preserving the
fought for this other one.
traditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
Um,
because I like the idea that like out there in the haunted wasteland, like our people have not always been restricted to, like there are plenty of other cities we were forced to give up during the war, and there's like no, we can't abandon those like traditional edifices of our culture. We have to reclaim them and create like more last bastions.
So could we simplify by saying that like the faithful believe in us, but like the warriors don't believe in us, or something like
Cool.
Yeah, I've
that?
said the civilians,
Yeah.
but I can say the faithful. Yeah.
Because it sounds
I
like
mean,
we're
yeah.
So
including
here's-
like.
I mean,
the
here's the
religious
question.
authority.
Here's my question, and I think this is an interesting question. Do the temple authorities believe in us? Or do they, because I feel like there's a middle step between like, okay, some people believe in us, some people don't. I feel like there is a middle step of like uncertain, hopeful doubt. And I
Yeah.
kind of like the idea that that's the temple authority, because we are
Yeah.
fundamentally profane, and yet we might like be the key
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
to like
I
fix
like
this whole
that.
shit.
But they don't believe in us as in believing in our mission, but not necessarily trust us. Like,
I mean, I feel like given that this is Magical Girl, I feel like believe in us doesn't mean believe in our mission. It means believe in us as people.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Like I feel like in a Magical Girl anime, that has like everything has to be taken very personally.
right, yeah.
I mean, Andrew can speak to that, but that's my read anyway.
Well, I think that's a solid answer then. Like the faithful, whoever they are, right? It's probably mostly civilians, maybe some of the church. Maybe like yeah.
There's a cynical portion of this religious authority that like made us
Yeah.
and orchestrated this whole thing, and now it's just like overcome by the despair of what they have wrought, and now they're in that position of like all the guilt, like the blood on their hands, having done this horrible thing.
I almost like the idea that those cynical people like don't believe anymore because they're like, we built angels.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like they
right,
have
yeah.
become, they feel like they become God in that horrifying.
Yeah, like
way, right?
how can the heavens really exist? Like they don't have faith; they have knowledge. They're past the point of faith because they know it's true. They don't
Yeah,
believe.
Those who have traded faith for cynicism.
Yeah.
Also, someone in the chat made a really cool point that the engines have hope. Like, the
Yes.
engines believe that we have a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. They
absolutely.
do.
I mean, some of them do. I reckon
It
some
may
of them
not
might
be.
not.
It may not be a very good chance, but
Look, all I'm
That
saying
are
is that
interesting that we do. Yeah.
I think at least one engine as a hidden impulse that will be revealed through play should definitely have like hopeless or something.
Oh,
And it's like,
totally,
nah,
totally.
nah.
Yeah.
You're doomed.
Everyone's on board except you, whatever guy. Like, why you gotta be such a grump?
Except
Well.
you, old pair of boots.
Yeah,
Get the
old
fuck
pair of
on
boots,
the
get your shit
bandwagon with
together.
us.
They're tormented. The tormented.
Okay, so I'm gonna play.
Do you want to do our crew abilities first?
Yes.
I guess. Fine.
Gosh.
Let me talk
Are we
about my
academy
character,
trained?
okay?
Each crew member may add. Oh my gosh. Are we academy trained? Each crew member may add +1 rating to their perceive, embody, and analyze. The max rating for these also increases by 1. Are we esprit de corps? Each character may roll +1 dice when rolling tsundere. Gain +1 dice when rolling to help a friend recover from an action. Help a friend recover action. We could be Red Baroness. When a member of the crew meets someone new, another player tells the MC what they've heard about that crew member. When your fame, identity, or reputation is at stake in a situation, gain an extra dice. We could be High Alert. During downtime, the crew gets additional downtime actions to distribute amongst its members equal to the current tier of the Darkness track. Or we could be Heroes of the People. When the crew's mission protects someone or something important, gain +1 die to the engagement roll. When no innocents are harmed during a course of a mission, mark crew XP.
I mean, we are heroes of people.
We could take outside influence and pick one from another playbook.
That's true.
Do anything we want.
Yeah.
True.
There's a couple of those I really like, but I would like to change the names just because the poetics, like we've taken it to a place that where a lot of the poetics layer doesn't fit. Like I think
that's fine.
I think Academy trained makes sense because we're all like fucking not totally human angels.
Right.
I think
But we're
Esprit de
not
Corps makes
actually
sense.
literally academy trained.
Yeah, I think Esprit de Corps makes sense because we're all like got this fucking soul bond thing going on that like ties us to each other. And I think Red Baroness makes sense because we are like cultural icons.
Yeah, those are all valuable.
But I think all of those I would want like to give it a different poetic name.
Yeah,
just so we
that's,
can like stay within the poetry
that's
layer.
not necessarily, not required.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Red Baroness for that kind of like
kind of
cultural idol thing. I think
We've
that's
tied
like
these so much to stories and identity as well, in terms of like the engine and stuff, that it feels, it resonates with me as well.
Can we call it storied heroes?
Sure.
You can call it anything you want.
Exactly.
Yay.
How does Mel feel?
Yeah, Red Baroness is really cool. It's one of the ones I was looking at like that or Heroes of the People. So
Yeah.
sounds really good.
All right. Red Baroness it is.
I'm gonna relabel it.
You go for it, buddy.
Let me give it
As
a
far as our
name.
transcendent abilities, are we plugged in? While transcended, each character gets +1 dice to perceive, embody, and analyze. Do we have heavy gear? While transcended, your resist rolls fully negate harm of level 3 or lower, as long as you have an armor use remaining. You may spend your armor to improve your position for a single roll. Or do we have eject? When you suffer level 4 harm while transcended, you may choose to live by immediately ending your transcendence. What do you leave behind? Who gets put in a bad spot when you bail out?
My immediate thought is one of the first two, because of the question of we were made to be able to navigate and lead our people through lands of heaven. So I feel like heavy gear is like we were, we and the engines have been built such that they can withstand whatever kind of environmental awfulness there is. But plugged in also kind of ties into that thing wherein we are connected to each other for some kind of navigational or leadership reason.
Yeah, I also like the idea. Oh, sorry, you.
I was going to say, out of those two, I'd lean towards plugged in based on it. The fiction so far seems to be that we weren't designed to withstand heaven per se, but like to find a safe path.
Right, yeah. More navigating.
Yeah, which perceive and analyze and embody all make total sense.
Yeah.
And I like the idea also that like when we transcend, we are drawing on some portion of like the power of heaven that we have access to. And like that fortify, that makes us like more able to navigate heaven while we're in our transcendent form. Oh, and then we can rename that one Celestial Wayfinders. Cool. All right.
Are you doubting Andrew's ability to write good titles, Luke?
I just feel like the titles come within a very kind of science fiction-y poetry layer.
It's a sub hack.
Yeah, it's a sub. I'm just drifting the poetry layer a little bit, and people are
Hack
free to
within
tell
a
me to
hack
stop.
within a hack.
But otherwise, I'm gonna do it.
Well, that's
That's
really
fine
cool.
with me.
Because that means that we know everything about our group playbook, about our series playbook, which is really fucking cool.
Break time?
I think
Yeah,
it
well-
might be time for a break, and then we can come back
Yeah.
and we can do our
Sweet.
characters and try and do them
Da, 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 da,
in
da,
time
da.
long. All right, back in a minute.